Howdy champs, my name is Mohit. Today we'll be talking about a challenge that I gave myself. In fact, let's start off with the browser preview. Today I thought let's create a bulleted list, and it should appear like this. What's so different about this list? You see the first item, the fifth item, 6th, 7th, 8th. The ninth item does actually have a blue list. The second item, third, fourth, fifth. The sixth item, 7th, 8th, 9th. The 10th item. You see, different colored bullets are actually spaced out by 1, 2, 3 different bullets in between. So if this is blue and this is blue, it has 3 other bullets of this, of a different color. If this is gray and this is gray, we have 1, 2, 3 bullets of a different color. If this is green and this is green, we have 1, 2, 3 bullets of a different color. So it's a pattern where every if it's the first, and then the fifth, and the ninth. If it's the second, then it's the sixth, and the 10th. You see, so it's spaced out in a specific pattern. And I actually wanted to create this without using any classes, any IDs, or any inline styling on my markup. So I wanted to have, I wanted to style in style, right? So if you have a look out here, I have an opening UL tag and a closing UL tag out here. The opening UL tag is a class of has an ID of fancy, but the li items inside, which are actually 12, do not actually carry any class or any ID. Yet I was able to style them the way I actually styled them, and that was a challenge that I actually set myself. And at the same time, I wanted to use sprites. Let me show you my local site folder. What is a sprite? Let's understand that. If this is an image, this is yet another image, 2.gif, 1.gif, 3.gif, and 4.gif. Check the dimension. All the 4 images are actually 15 by 15 pixels. Right. And this is a sprite that I had actually generated by combining these 4 images together. Notice the file size, 1.6 kbs. Every single bullet is 627 bytes, and this is 1.6 kbs. I actually used an online sprite generator, spritegen.com, to generate this sprite. I've actually named my sprite sprite.gif. Why couldn't I actually work with these single images? Why should I actually use a sprite? Now, sprite reduces tremendously the server load of your website, makes for lesser HTTP requests, and as a result, your web page actually loads pretty fast. I've actually done one more tutorial on using sprites. Right. And how do you call upon these images from the sprite? You see 4 different dots, let's call them dots or bullets, in 4 different corners. Through the background position property, I can actually summon different dots or different bullets. Right. So we'll be using the background position property a lot. In a nutshell, this is the smartest bulleted list that I've ever created. I actually felt like a programmer today. I actually felt I was working with Flash and not Dreamweaver. I always loved Flash and ActionScript 3 simply because I think like a programmer. I don't think like a markup man. I'm not an HTML markup man, seriously. But I really love to, I love to do things with logic, and I poured all my logic out here today. And if you are, if you like to work only with design, do not like to work too much with code, then probably you might not like this tutorial. You can end it right here. You can just take the escape route, the exit route, and leave the tutorial in the midst. But if you are a person who has the thinking cap on, you like to think and you like to learn a lot, you like challenges, then this tutorial is meant for you. Please continue on. Okay. So my UL list has 12 li items inside, and in the opening and the closing style tags where I've actually used internal or embedded rules. People, I have used a lot of I always like to use a lot of shorthands. Font shorthand property, as you can see out here. List style is again shorthand. The my favorite colon before, pseudo element, content, display inline block, sprite out here. I've used the nth child compound rule, people. So I've used a lot, and it'll actually make more sense if I don't explain the rules, but I redo the rules. Only the rules, people. I'm going to leave the markup as is. The HTML I'm going to leave untouched. The CSS I'm going to scrap. So we can do it all over again. And so, always makes sense to do the CSS all over again, because then it starts to make more sense. Okay, let's save the document up. At this point, people, all I'm left with is the HTML. So a UL with an ID of fancy with 12 li items inside. The UL means unordered list, lists which just have bullets. So if at this point, after having deleted the CSS, if I refresh the browser preview, it goes back to square one. So unformatted basic raw UL list, unordered list, right? So let's do the CSS, internal embedded CSS all over again. Ideally it should be external, but for simplicity's sake I'm keeping it internal. Righto. Okay, what should be the first rule? The first rule should target the ID fancy and li's inside. Okay, so it's a descendant rule, targeting li's within ID's fancy. I can even write it UL li fancy, just the same thing, right? We'll just make the rule a little heavier. Now let's write the first declaration, list style none. That'll ensure that it's a shorthand, people, list style. That'll ensure that I'll lose the default bullets. If I were to say Control S, bring the browser up, if I refresh, the bullets are lost. Cool. Next, people, let me declare a font. I'll be using the font shorthand property. Let's make it real big and nice, so you can visually big to see, easy to see. 24px, 150% as the line height. That'll ensure that the li items are properly spaced out. That's the line height. Oblique, font size, oblique line height in terms of percentage. 100% being the default, and then the font that I'm interested in using, Times New Roman. Okay. Control S to save the document, and let's refresh to see the change. So the font size, font family, and the line height have actually changed. It shows quite clearly. Right. Now, righto. The next rule, hash fancy. So the ID fancy, which have li before. So before all li's inside the ID fancy, I would want to insert some content, some pseudo element. So content property, as always, let's insert null empty content, empty strings, nothing inside. Okay, there's a reason why I'm actually doing this. Now let me declare a height and width of 15px. I'm in the process of generating my bullets. The bullets, if you remember, were 15px by 15px each, so a width of 15 plus a height of 15. Tab, Control S. At this point, let me bring the browser up. Let's refresh. No change. That's okay. Right. Next, people, let me give my content a display property of inline block. So we'll partly retain the properties of a block level element and some of the inline level elements. It'll be a judicious mix of the two. It'll work both like an inline and a block element. We'll soon see that. Right. When it's a block level element, it's going to honor the width and the height, and when it's an inline element, it can allow some other elements in the same line. That's the reason the display property I've chosen as inline block. Okay. All my contents should have the background. Which background? URL. Sprite. Sprite, if you remember, people, was that big chunk of 4 bullets combined together. Sprite is always a combination of images. So sprite.gif. Right. I'm going to bring the browser up at this point after saving the changes and see what happens. Ideally, I should see all the 4 images together. Why I actually don't see that is because I have defined the width and the height of 15px, which results in only the top left bullet actually showing through and not the rest of the 3. This is sprite.gif. Makes sense, doesn't it? Right? So only the top left corner bullet is actually showing. Righto. Also, just to be on the safe side, let me add the no repeat value. Although there's no way it can actually repeat in a width and a height of 15px, but it's best to write it this way. Maybe it'll reflect on the load time. Maybe, I'm not so sure. Alright, so this shouldn't make any change to the browser preview, which should be as is. Correct. Next, people, let me ensure that my bullets and the text is spaced out by a margin right of, let's say, 10px tab. Now, why my code expands this way? Simply because I'm using Emmet, a code assist package or a plugin. Right. Cool. Yeah. Let's save, bring the browser up. Let's refresh, see the change. Nice. Okay, I'm actually done with this rule, and let's create the third and the last rule, people. No, it's not the last rule, I'm sorry. I'm gonna copy paste something, and then I'll explain it to you. Right. In the ID, fancy, target the LIs which are in a specific arrangement. Nth child 4n plus 1. What does it actually mean? It means every li which is either the first li or the fifth li or the ninth li. Why is that? That's because of this arrangement inside here. 4n. First the n is actually 0. When it's 0, 4 into 0, how much is that? 0 plus 1, so 1. It computes to 1. When n becomes 1 after 0, then 4 into 1 is, how much is that? 4 plus 1 is 5. That computes to 5. Then the third time n becomes 2. How much is 4 into 2? 8 plus 1, 9. You see, so we are actually targeting the nth child or the first child, which then becomes the fifth child, which then becomes the ninth child, which then becomes the You know, you just go on adding 5 people, the 13th child, so on and so forth. So when you want to apply rules this way, this is what you're gonna do, people. You know, you're not gonna write fancy li nth child 1 comma nth child 5th nth child 9th. No, you're gonna create this complex rule. Smart coding, people. Okay. So for every 1st, 5th, 9th li, I would want the background property, the background position property actually to be this. I'm just getting the value, people. Now this will ensure that out of the sprite we pull the top left sprite. Let's save the document up and let's bring the browser up. Let's refresh. So this is the 1st, this is the 5th, and this somewhere here is the 9th. Yeah. So pulling out the top left sprite because of the background position property ensures that I get the correct bullet. Okay. Let's copy this code up. Copy the whole line 16, line 16. Let's paste it and make certain changes. Now I'm going to target this time not the 1st, 5th, and 9th, the li item, but rather the 2nd, the 6th, and so on and so forth. So 2nd, the 6th, the 10th, etc. So the rule changes to 4n plus 2. How much is 4 into 0? 0 plus 2, 2. Okay. Second time n becomes 1. So 4 into 1, 1 plus 2, 6. Third time n becomes 3. So 4 into 3, how much is that? 12 plus so then it becomes 2, I'm sorry. So 4 into 2, 8 plus 2, 10. Then it becomes 3. So 3 into 4, 12 plus 2, 14. You know, 3 into 4, 12 plus 4, 2, 14. Right. So just changing the situation this way, and at the same time I need to change the background position. Now this becomes minus 15. I'm actually targeting a separate bullet, people. Let's see the effect after saving the change, and let's bring the browser up. Notice that the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th bullet has been affected. Right. Similarly, you see through the background positions I'm actually targeting different bullets every time. Cool. This time this should change to 3. 4n plus 3. So the first li item is going to target as 4n. 4 into 0. That's 0 plus 3. So third. Then n becomes 1. 4 into 1 is 4 plus 3, 7. So the third, the 7th, the 11th, so on and so forth. And the background position is going to change in the manner that I'm about to show you. This becomes 0. This becomes minus 15. Alright, and which means that we are going to pick up the third bullet from the sprite. Let's see the change. Let's refresh. You see the green bullet, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yep, see the change, people. And let's copy this line up. Let's paste it down out here. This becomes 4n plus 4. So the 4th bullet, the 4th li item, so when n is 0, 4 into 0 is how much? 0 plus 4, 4. So 4 into 1, mm, 4 plus 4, 8. So fourth li item, then the 8th li item, then the 12th li item, so on and so forth. And I'm going to change the background position to -15, -15. I know it's a little complex. That's why I said I felt like a Flash and ActionScript 3 programmer, not a HTML markup man. It actually seemed like I was doing a heavy coding today, because of all the permutations, combinations involved, right? Just trying to make my code smart. So this will ensure that the 4th, the 8th, the 12th bullet, the li item should have the 4th bullet. And let's see that in action. Let's refresh. Right. So we have the blue, the gray, the green, and the red. Again, the same pattern repeats: the blue, the gray, the green, and the red. The blue, the gray, the green, and the red. Yep. So I set myself a challenge, and I think I came through with flying colors. Actually, 4 of them: the blue, the gray, the green, and the red. So people, I hope you found this information useful. I'll be leaving a link in the description through which you can actually download the whole code, copy it, and use it. Right. So if you found this stuff informative and useful, please thumb the video up. I'm not getting too many thumbs up of late. And do join me in more tutorials to come in the future. I hope so you will. You have a good day. Bye bye. Peace.